Hello everyone, this is teacher Rose for classes M5/1 to M5/5, subject language and literature, code 32101, week 2. Our class this week, we are going to talk about the passive voice, how we can use this structure, and the differences between passive voice and active voice. Okay, let's begin. What is the active voice? A sentence generally begins with the performer of the action or the subject, then the verb, then the object or person that the action is performed on. This is called active sentence. For example, when we have subject plus verb plus object, our sentence would be something like this. John cleaned the room. This sentence is an active sentence because John is the person who actually did something. He cleaned the room. Alright, now let's see how we can make a passive voice and what a passive voice is. If we begin the sentence with the object or person that the action is performed on, we formulate a passive sentence. For example, if we have a structure like object plus verb plus by and the name of the subject, we would have a sentence like, the room was cleaned by John. This is a passive voice sentence because here the room is not the thing or person that did the action, but actually something happened to the room. So John cleaned the room. We can say the room was cleaned by John. Well, now we want to know when we should use the passive voice in our sentences. Number 1, when we do not know who the subject is or it is not important who the subject is. For example, somebody cleaned the room. The room was cleaned. We don't know who the person is that actually did this action, so we can simply use passive voice here. Number 2, when it is obvious who the subject is, because it is the person who usually does this action. For example, the cleaner cleaned the room. It would be, the room was cleaned again. Here it can be used in a passive voice because we know usually it's the cleaner who cleans a room. Okay, now let's see how we can formulate the passive voice. In order to make the passive voice sentences, number 1, put the object of the verb at the beginning of the sentence. Number 2, use the verb to be in the same tense as the active sentence. Number 3, put the main verb in the past participle form of the verb. Past participle is verb 3. For example, eat, ate, eaten. Have, had, had. Eaten and had are the past participle form of the verbs. For example, the postman delivers the mail. The mail is delivered. Delivers in the first sentence is present simple. That's why we should use is as the present simple form of to be verb plus the past participle form of the main verb. Another example, the decorator is painting my room. Is painting is a present continuous form, so we would need to use be in a present continuous form as well. That's why it would be my room is being plus the past participle form of the verb painted. One more example. Someone stole the money. Stole is past simple form. The past simple form of to be verb is was or were. So the sentence would be the money was plus the past participle form of the verb. The money was stolen. Let's take a look at some notes about this structure. Note 1. If you want to mention the name of the subject in a passive sentence, use the phrase by with the name. For example, my room is being painted by the decorator. Note 2. If the active sentence begins with no one or nobody, the passive sentence will be negative. Nobody turned on the light would be the light was not turned on. Note 3. If there is a preposition between the verb and the object, the preposition will remain after the verb. For example, they talked about the issue. The issue was talked about. As I told you before, the tense of your to be verb in passive voice depends on the tense of your active sentence. Let's take a look at the passive voice of different tenses. Present simple, I do it. So do is in present simple form. To be verb needs to be in present simple form, which is. It is plus past participle done. Past simple, I did it. So past simple form of to be verb is was or were. So it would be it was done. Future simple, I will do it. To be verb with will be it will be done. Present continuous, it is being done. Past continuous, it was being done. Present perfect, it has been done. Past perfect, it had been done. Future perfect, it will have been done. And finally, modals like can, may, might, or other modals. Example, I can do it. It can be done. All right, be careful with a common mistake that most of the students make when they are making passive sentences. Plural singular confusion. For example, someone has reported the incidents. The incidents is a plural word here, so when it comes to the beginning of the passive sentence, the incidents have been reported. The verb has changes to have in passive form. They are going to build a church. Are going to build a church is plural because of they. But when we are using a church in the passive voice, it is a singular noun, so we should change are to is. A church is going to be built. Now it's time to do some exercises. I have provided you with some exercises in your Google Classroom, so please go there, come back to watch the video again whenever you need help, and stay in touch with me via line as I gave you my number before.